All right, so we are live. Welcome to our team call. Today is Tuesday, March 22nd. Can't believe it's already March, and spring was a couple days ago. Crazy. We're supposed to get a whole bunch of snow tomorrow. My name is Marcia Smirka. I'm the creative team Fit4mation. For any of you who it's your first team call or I haven't met you yet, welcome. Happy to have you on. I wanted to talk tonight about time management because I think out of anything that I ever get asked, that's probably the most common thing, question coaches have for me is how do I balance my time, or how, if you're working full-time hours, how do you work and fit in your Beachbody hours so that you can still continue to grow an income in a successful business while also working another job or other family responsibilities and things like that. So hopefully tonight I can share with you some of the tips that I've done throughout my coaching career with Beachbody, and then kind of talk a little bit about how that's evolved and changed as I've grown my team to help you kind of get some ideas maybe of what you can do and implement for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share here so we can get started. You guys will have to let me know if you can see my slides here. I lost you guys. All right, I don't see you anymore. Do you guys see my slides?
No.
It's coming.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. So I have, for those of you who might not know my story, I just want to give a brief kind of summary. This is my family. I have 4 kids. Their ages 3 to 9. Which I can't believe. When I first started coaching, I had a 1-year-old and my oldest was 7. So it's, kind of thinking back, gosh, how did I juggle coaching and working a business with a 1-year-old and 3 other kids? I had 2 or 3 of them that were home with me during the day. I didn't have any help. So it was basically me, and then during the school year, 1 or 2 of them were in school. So hopefully tonight I can give you some tips. I first want to go over some announcements. So you guys probably all are aware, hopefully with 1 week left in the month, that the March specials are the 22-minute hardcore. You also have the Shakeology Challenge Pack, the Beachbody Performance Challenge Pack options for people. PIO and Shakeology is on sale. The PIO Kickstart, so PIO is $140 on sale, normally $160. The PIO Kickstart is on sale for $180. And then the 3-day refresh is $140, normally $160. So good opportunity to connect with people if they want to. If someone is looking at PIO, I always ask them if they want to do an add-on for $40 with the 3-day refresh. It's just, I would hate to have them, want it later on and find out that they could have gotten it for $20 less. So make sure that you're offering that to people. If they say no, they say no, but I always like to let them know that it's an option for them this month. Super Saturday is right around the corner, April 2nd. You guys can go in your Coach Online office and find a local event nearest you. So you would just go in events and then from your Coach Online office and then do a search by your state. And then all of the ones that are registered will pop up. So make sure that you get to those. It's kind of like a mini summit. So it's a great opportunity for you to network with other coaches. Anything with corporate events always moves my business forward. You can invite any potential coaches to go with you, someone that you think might be a good addition to your team. Have them come with you, or even customers. My very first one, I posted it on my timeline. I talked about it. I private messaged, invited people, and I had a whole caravan of people that just went with me to learn about coaching. And, if they had any questions about Beachbody, there's always program announcements usually done or new product launch information that are given. So you'll be the first in the know of what's up and coming down the pike by attending. And then, like I said, it's just a great opportunity for you to share on social media, what you're doing. People seeing you involved is going to create interest on your timeline. So make sure if you are going that you're posting and talking about it and taking pictures. We also have our Team Fit4mation Diamond Retreat coming up. Can't believe it's like 10 days away or something like that, crazy. So getting really super excited about that. And that's in the Dells. And then we'll also be going to the Super Saturday in the Dells for that event. And then always every month, just revisit your March goals. If we're, like I said, finishing up on the month here coming up really soon, So look back and see, did you have goals that you wanted to achieve this month? And are you on track to hit them, or are you not? Rather than adjusting your date, I challenge you to adjust your activities so that your activities match your goal. I hate to have you back off. Not every goal is meant to be met. It's meant to challenge you and push you to new limits. Maybe you don't know what you're capable of achieving unless you shoot really high. But if you shoot high, you're going to finish higher than you normally would. So go back to your goals for the month and see what you need to adjust for your activities so that you can finish, the month proud of where you end up. Success Club tips. For this month, Beachbody has the Success Club 5 and higher coaches will earn the Beachbody Performance Sampler Pack. So a single serving of each of the premium workout supplements. So if you have not tried the Beachbody supplements yet, the performance line, this will be a great opportunity for you to get a sample of all of them and try them out. And I saw too in the Coach Online office that they have a new orange flavor. The Recover. So I was curious about that. So that will be in that sample pack. I have not tried that yet. So I'm really curious about that. I love the chocolate. So I don't know. We'll see what that's all about. And then also I want to make sure that you guys all know in your Coach Online office where to look for news and updates. So it's at the top right-hand column in your Coach Online office where it says Coach Breaking News. So I check this regularly every few days to see if there's anything new on there that I might have missed. So this is a great place for you just to kind of get in the habit of looking when you go into your Coach Online office to make sure that you're in the know of anything up and coming. The other thing I want to talk about is just kind of how our team is doing right now. And I'm really super excited to see the growth of our organization. We have almost 3,000 coaches total in our organization, which is pretty amazing. And that's, they're all over dispersed on, throughout our downline. We had 61 new coaches join in the last 7 days. And then so far in the month of March, 177 coaches join in the month of March in our team. So that just tells me that we have a lot of work to do with helping these new coaches get started right. Help make sure that they get the tools that they need to run their business successfully. So I just want to offer, and some of you might be my personally sponsored coaches, some of you might not. But I start my new coach training groups every first Monday of every month. And that's just a way for me to keep my training groups organized. And then also because I'm recruiting for coaches towards the end of the month, then I have a place for them to go into right away in the beginning of the month. And then I do my new coach calls every Sunday night at 9 p.m. So every week there's a different topic as they advance throughout their training. So week 1 will be that first week in the month, then week 2, week 3, week 4, and so on. And then I'll start all new again the following month. So you're welcome to join in those if you don't have a place for your new coaches, or if you want to see how I run them. I post them in the groups. So just let me know if you need that. February was an awesome month for our team. We had the Cup Challenge, which I think pushed a lot of coaches, to numbers that maybe you wouldn't have normally tried to shoot for otherwise. It was really fun. Our team did really, really well. A lot of new coaches, a lot of rank advancements, just a lot of positives going on last month. So just wanted to celebrate that a little bit. These are all the coaches that hit Success Club on our team last month for the month of February. I see numbers, but I also see lives changed. So this is just really exciting to me to see how many people we helped last month. And that's not even counting people who didn't hit Success Club. So awesome job, team. I love to see the impact that we're making and the work that you guys do every day. So far in the month of March, this is what we have going on. So again, it's going to be a great month. I know that there are a lot of people sitting at Success Club 4, so one more person to help. And they'll have it. So just keep pushing, keep working, keep inspiring. You're doing a great job. So, all right. So we'll get into the meat of the call, talking about my top time management tips. Okay. So I just want to start by saying, when I first started working as a coach, my sponsor coach said, if I wanted to succeed in this business, all I needed to do was focus on Success Club. And basically, that's helping 3 people or more per month. And if I wanted rockstar status, I would help 5 people or more per month. And I'm very competitive. So I was like, well, heck, I'm going to do rock star status. And I'm not only going to get it for myself, I'm going to get it for my husband too. So that's kind of, the mentality that I went into starting my business right off the bat, that I was going to help as many people as I could. And I was going to challenge myself every single month following to do better than I did the month prior. And I was going to work my butt off to get myself to Success Club 10 or more and my husband to Success Club 10 or more. And there are so many benefits to doing that. And you guys probably all know, but when you hit Success Club 10, you're getting the better Beachbody leads. You're having more transformations. You're helping more people, so you're having more transformations to share on social media. You're always in a group, so you're always helping people, which is kind of the point of our business, right? So, and we all know that our income is a direct reflection of the lives that we want to change. So, I knew going into the business that we needed change desperately for our financial situation. So if I was going to change things around financially, I just needed to really get myself out there and help as many people as I could. So non-negotiable for me right off the bat was to hit Success Club every single month, because that was what I was told in order to build a 6-figure business. That's what I needed to do. So, it's 3 people in 30 days is easy. So, push yourself. You never know how many people you can help unless you set that bar high. And I've seen it happen where coaches are like, okay, I'm gonna get Success Club 20 this month. I'm gonna help 10 people. And you know what? You might not get Success Club 20, but you'll get Success Club 18 or 16 if that, it's like you're gonna finish higher when you set your bar higher. Hold on, I gotta find my notes here. All right, I wanted to start by saying to you guys, like, what I wish I would have known when I first started coaching that I know now. Okay, so, ask that question, what do I know now that I wish I would have known when I first started coaching? And honestly, in terms of time management, I would have to say it would be balance. Finding that balance between family and marriage and kids and Beachbody. Because I was so excited, kind of what I just told you, like I wanted success in 30, I wanted success in 35. It was really hard to not like live and breathe Beachbody. And I pretty much did that. And I don't regret it, because it built up momentum in my business and got me to where I am today. But I think I could have been a little bit smarter about how I was spending my time. So all right, so I'm going to back up. I'm going to stop right there. All right, so to kind of explain what I mean by that is I sacrificed a lot of, like I didn't watch TV and I still don't watch TV. So I trimmed all the fat right away because I knew that what was going to earn me money was working my business. But what I did a lot of is maybe scrolling Facebook or doing other things that weren't business building activities that were still taking time away from my family. Or I didn't set very structured like business hours or family time. So I kind of let that time be sloppy into one another. What I started doing then to help with that is I use this Google Calendar. And I don't know if you guys use this or not, but this has really been life-changing for me. My husband would ask me, like, how many hours did you work today? And I really had no idea, because I was on the computer all day, but I wasn't necessarily being productive during that whole entire time, right? I know you guys can probably relate to me, like, how much time, do you spend on social media and you're not really doing anything to move your business forward? It happens to a lot of us. It's really easy. Social media is so distracting. So what I started doing is I turned off my chat bar. And if you guys don't do this when you're working your power hour and you're going through your business activity tracker, this might be something that will really help you stay focused on your task at hand. So I'm like all over the place. I'm a total squirrel. If I see a notification or a Facebook message pop up, or, if someone's asking me a question, I'm always like all over the place. And it took a lot of discipline for me to be like, nope, I'm working on invites right now. I'm not going to worry about that. Or, if a notification would come up and, oh, who's looking at my stuff? So you have to be very disciplined in the task at hand. All right. Okay, I probably jumped ahead of myself a little bit. What has helped me be disciplined with my time and focused is to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So what I mean by that is, a lot of times we talk about, what is your why? And that's one of the questions I ask my brand new coaches. Why are you working your Beachbody business? Because everything else is going to follow and feed off of that why. So, and that can change, maybe your why changes every 6 months or every year or whatever. As your business grows, your why might change because you might realize your potential is way bigger than what you maybe first thought. So for me, why I started was my husband was working an hour away, and he was working a lot of hours, and we never saw him. I basically felt like a single mom raising a 1-year-old, the 3-year-old, and 5 and 7-year-old. And it just wasn't the lifestyle that we wanted. We were deep into debt. We had a lot of credit card debt. We had student loans. We were living paycheck to paycheck, and we couldn't pay all of our bills. It was just very, very hard financially. Because we were living on one income for 7 years while I was raising our family. So my why was to bring my husband closer to home, to a job that he was more passionate about. All of the jobs that he was looking at were a lot less money, which meant that we would need more from me to help supplement his, loss in salary. So that was my biggest motivation. And then it happened all at the same time. So I started coaching, and he left his job, and we lost all of our health benefits at the same time. So I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have backup, like a plan B. Like, this was it. And I had to make it work no matter what. So I think if you guys have like a thought in your head, like that, well, if it doesn't work, I'm not out anything. Or, I think you almost have to just get rid of that plan B and say, you know what, there is no option but to succeed in this business. I'm going to make this work, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make this happen. Like, you are no different than any other coach in this business. You're no different than me. You're no different than the top coach in the company. The only difference is maybe what's going on between your ears and your mind. What do you tell yourself every day that you're going to do today that other people aren't willing to do, so that you can live a life that others won't live tomorrow, right? So it's small sacrifices, short-term sacrifices that will set you up long-term, right? So again, identify your why. So is it financial freedom? Is it, wanting extra money to travel? Is it to pay off debt? Is it to buy a car? Is it to pay cash for Christmas? Is it to, whatever it is, maybe you have a future family that you want to start, working towards, and you want to be financially set before you start having kids, or maybe you already have kids and you want to be a stay-at-home mom by the time your number 2 comes, or whatever it is. Know what your why is, right? And then think of that every time you go to work. So I did that statement, my why statement, and I put that in a visible place where I saw it every single day when I went to work. And I asked myself, when I sat down and opened up my computer, I would look at that statement, that why, and ask myself, is what I'm doing right now business building activities, or am I wasting my time? If I was wasting time, and I could have been inviting, or I could have been reaching out and making new friends and finding new contacts, I was robbing myself of that time that I had, because I didn't work all day long. Even though I was a stay-at-home mom, I had 4 kids to take care of. So I worked, very random hours sporadically throughout the day, around my kids' schedules and around nap times. So, I didn't, just because I was a stay-at-home mom does not mean that I worked 10-hour days. All right. And I still don't do that. You can kind of see by my schedule here. So let's see. What I might recommend, if you have not read yet, the 30-Day Push by Chalene Johnson, that was a really good book for me to kind of help me identify my whys. So, that would be one recommendation. And then my other recommendation for personal development is Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. And that book talks about that one thing that you avoid doing every single day. Maybe it's your inviting, maybe it's your workout, whatever it is, that one thing that you need to do every day that you put off, you have to do that first and get it, out of the way, so it's off of your chest, and then you can go on and be more productive the rest of the day. So that's not just like pulling you back. If you guys have done that, you know what I'm talking about. You're waiting till 11 o'clock. Don't, go to bed before you do your invites or whatever it is. Get it done first thing in the morning so you can move on with your day. Okay, so let's see here. And I also want you guys to write a statement, like, it would be crazy cool if, all right. So if you could dream big, like, what would be, some goals that you would want to achieve? That'd be crazy cool if I could do this, if I could be a diamond coach in 30 days, if I could pay off my student loan by October, whatever it is, if I could pay cash for Christmas, if I could take my family on a all expense paid vacation for Christmas, whatever it is, write those statements down and how it would feel. When there's an emotional attachment to your why, it's going to make it stronger for you. I've had coaches even do a video of their why and save it somewhere. Maybe you have a private Facebook page or something, some place where you save it and you can go back and watch yourself. It makes it so much more powerful when you're looking at yourself in video format. So that might be something too. I ask you guys, what your why is if you're on my team, but you record yourself in video and watch it back and see if it's more powerful for you, and save it. Don't delete it. All right. And then recognize, okay, so once you have your why established and you have a reason why you're doing what you're doing every single day, then I want you to recognize that your activities, your actions are going to affect the other people that you're living with in your house. If you have a spouse, if you have kids, they need to know why you're working. That was a conversation. It's a conversation my husband and I have a lot. Why, what are we working towards? What are our family goals? It's not just my goals and my business goals. It's our family's goals. Where do we want to donate funds to this year? How much do we want to allocate for our church? And long-term, like legacy planning, what do we want to do for our community? So as you start to, achieve smaller goals and see successes in your business, it's going to be easier for you to kind of look towards what's next and dream a little bit bigger. And then your goals get a little bit bigger with each step. And that's a really cool thing with Beachbody is there's always a what's next. And I thought that was really neat when I first started. It's like, okay, my first level is going to be Emerald Coach. And then after that, I'm going to be Ruby Coach. And then Diamond, and then after that there's 1-star and 2-star, and then it never ends. There's always a what's next to look forward to and to push for, and there's new perks and benefits with each level. So it's just really kind of cool structure how Beachbody has things planned out so that you always can look ahead to what's next. And the same thing is true with your goals. I always want you to be kind of evolving those goals and looking forward to what's next. And then the next thing I want you to do is to share and communicate that with your family members regularly. So with your kids, with your husband, so that there's going to be a time, and I can say this, and probably 99.9% of coaches have this conversation with their spouse where they are feeling resentment towards you being on Facebook or social media. Okay, it happens. So when you communicate with them what your goals are, what your family goals are, why you're working for what you're working towards, it makes that conversation a little bit easier because they understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. But also I want you to make sure that you respect that family time. So on my calendar here, you'll see that I have, the family time blocked out from 4 to 8. Unless I absolutely have to be working during those times, I really try hard not to be working. That's like designated family time. It's when the kids are getting off the bus from school. It's when we're making dinner, we go on walks or whatever we do. Dance class on Thursday nights. So I have designated times where I try to put my phone in the other room, computer screens off. And you have to do that for your own sanity, give yourself a break. And also so your family knows that they're important too, right? They're number one. Okay. So you're going to take those goals that you've created then and use those to create your to-do lists. So like I said, any activity that you're doing when you sit down to work your power hour. So as you can see here, like I have my, I guess you can't see. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do a different screen share here. You have to excuse my mess here. All right, can you guys see my calendar?
Yes.
Okay. So if you guys have not, does anybody use Google Calendar already?
No.
This is really super awesome. Who does?
Kimberly. I use Google Calendar.
Yeah, it's awesome because you can sync it with your phone. And then I don't do this, but like I think you can sync it with like your husband too or your spouse so that they can see what you have going on. Adam doesn't use that, so we don't use that, but I believe you can use that feature, that sharing feature with your spouse also.
I use it for PTA, work, my husband's calendar, my son's
soccer calendar and my calendar. They all sync to my phone.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you start that with like your email?
No. Go ahead.
What do you mean, Becky?
Like, do you have to have a Gmail email to have a Google
You have to
Calendar?
you have to have a Google account. Not really a Gmail account, but you have to have a Google account.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to show you, so I kind of I do this every Sunday night. I look ahead to see what I have going on for the week. And the thing that I love about it is just so easy to use. So I color code. My orange is my workout. So I can go in here and I can edit. Maybe I want to change it to a different color. You can do that and then save it and then all events, right? So then now just change them all to orange. I can change the time just by dragging it down for that particular day. Yellow is my family time. I blocked off family time. Purple is like my own personal business because I want to, as you grow your team, this is kind of where, when I started as a brand new coach, most of my business was inviting and personal development. That's pretty much all I did. And I made new friends. I like looked for new contacts. All right. And I looked for new people to help, whether they were a coach or a challenger. As I grew a team, then it was more of a juggling act to help them also achieve their goals and help them, get started right. So it's an easy thing to do as a newer coach, a newer leader, to kind of forget about your own business building activities and focus more on your coaches and your team. And it's a fine line because you don't achieve your goals unless your team is achieving theirs. So, you can never just like sign someone up and leave them hanging, but you also still have to focus on your own business building activities. So I always tell people the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time spent still needs to be back on your own business, 20% on your team. Okay. Because if you're not growing yourself and growing your own team, then you're not doing your coaches any favor either. Right. So I like that my own business building activities are in purple. And then I have my team in green, in the teal. And I don't have like my one-on-ones or anything in here like that, but this is kind of just a general rule for me a guide for me to follow. I try to stick to it as much as I can because I don't want to I didn't take this job to be working 10-hour days. I almost said 10-hour shifts. I love the freedom and flexibility of being able to take off in the middle of the day if I want to. So that's why like my schedule is really heavy Sunday through Wednesday, especially. Because that's when most people are on social media. That's what the busiest times of Facebook, of Instagram, things like that. And after Thursday, things kind of drop off. Nobody's on Facebook on Saturdays and Sundays during the day typically. So on those days that are kind of like my weekend. Thursday, I do my team advancement, shout outs and things like that. I should probably put that on here on my schedule actually. Yeah, I need to edit that. So Thursdays are a recognition day for my team. And then Fridays, I really don't work a whole lot. Saturdays, I really don't work a whole lot. Sundays, we go to church. Nice. It's a family day for me on Sunday also, but Sunday night is when I'm back on and hit it hard. Sunday through Wednesday again. So that's just kind of how I work my hours. Do you guys need to see anything like so basically if you want to schedule something here, I'll change this Thursday. I'll move this to here. And then I should do my rank. And then I'm going to create this event. I'm going to click on it and edit. I'm going to change it to teal because that's for my team. And then I'm going to have it repeat every week. Okay, so like something like my workout, I would put repeat daily here, but for this, I'm going to do that every week. And then repeat ends never. And then done. Save. And there it just showed up. So super easy, super slick. Like I said, if I wanted to do that here, I could just drag it here. But, all right. Any questions about the Google Calendar, guys?
No.
Okay. I don't know how to share my screen again. Okay, you're not going to get my screen again. All right. So basically, in summary, I want you guys, when you sit down to do your power hour, make sure you're working off of a list and use your business activity tracker or some kind of tracker. Make sure that you are focusing on the task at hand. So many times, I'm guilty of this too. We get distracted. Those pop-ups start coming up. Turn your notifications off. Sometimes I'll even just take a Post-it note and cover up that section on my computer where the notifications are popping up. Turn off your chat bar, because if people see that you're on Facebook, you might be getting all these messages when you're trying to work your power hour. So if you turn your chat bar off, people think that you're not online. Maybe they'll message you later. And it really is a race against the clock. So when I started working my business, and some of you guys, who have other full-time jobs, you might understand this. Your time is so precious, right? You're basically racing the clock. So when your alarm goes off in the morning at 5 o'clock or whatever time you're getting up, pushing snooze is robbing you of maybe 5 invites or 5 new contacts when you're working your power hour. So when that alarm goes off, for me, it's like, okay, I know I only have until 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock is when I have to help the kids get ready up, to get on the bus, and my work time ends at 7. So if I push snooze, I miss out on 2 hours of work time from 5 until 7, right? So 2 hours a day is huge, because I only want to work, maybe 4 to 6 hours a day tops. So if you push snooze, rob yourself of that time, then that's time away from your family later on, right? Because you have to still make up that 2 hours somewhere. If it's your workout or your power hour, then you're working in the evening where it could be family time, right? So just look at your schedule and see where you have, and this is where the color block Google Calendar is really helpful. When I first started, I blocked off like, okay, this was nap time. This is, like time, maybe I blocked off, like, I think I did an hour, like for cleaning the house or anything that I needed to do, make meals, as time that I couldn't work. So I was left with, just little, like I said, pieces of time in between where that was my work time. So make sure that you guys have business hours so that you're not setting the precedent to your team too, and your future team and your customers, that you're available all the time, because you have business hours just like any other business, right? So set that boundary right away for yourself and for your customers and your coaches, so that you have time away from the business also. But then when you are working, you're focused, working off of a list and being very organized and structured about what you're spending your time on. Okay, let's see. I think I covered everything that I wanted to talk about tonight. Do you guys have questions? Maybe like specific challenges that you have with your time management, with your schedule, things that maybe we can talk about and work out for you. I know you guys probably are all mostly full-time working, right? Trying to see who's on. Do you guys have set business hours or like a time that you work your power hour?
That's my hardest part, is finding an exact time, because my every single day is completely different. So I never really have a set time. I mean, sometimes I squeeze it in here and there while I'm at my real job. Sometimes I have to do it when I get home.
Well, maybe like for someone who works full time, I was thinking about this before my call too, because I never had an outside full-time job, while I was working my business. But I know other coaches who do, they will use like their driving time to and from work to listen to personal development. They'll
That's what I do.
like podcasts, the Shalene, what is it called? The Shalene Show. That's a good one. Team Beachbody has a podcast you can download too of all of the archived national wake-up calls. So that's a good one too. Audible, for books on audio.
Yeah.
So a lot of coaches and people are using their drive time to and from work for personal development. Maybe like lunch hours would be a good time to shoot off some invites, do your inviting during your lunch hour if you have time, if you can sit at the desk and do that, or do your follow-ups, or I would think invites might be a good time to do that. Just, get your social media post up quick on your timeline about your lunch or whatever it might be. So what does anyone, maybe I'll ask this other question. Does anybody have any good systems or structures that are really working well for them that they want to share? Then I'll talk at once. Connie. What do you have?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. My video is so delayed. What was your question, Marcia?
Do you have any systems that are working really well for you for time management?
Well, for me, I know that I have to get up early before my family's awake to do anything, because if I wait until nap time, I tend to do my housework when Camden is napping. So for me, I know I have to wake up early. I have to do my workout early. I have to do my power hours and do invites all really early, and then do my housework and catch up on messages during nap time. If I get off track and I don't do that right away, then my whole day is shot. And I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm too tired.
Mm-hmm.
And right now my kids are in spring break, so my whole schedule's all messed up anyway. But yeah, so for me, I have to get up at 5. If I get up after 5, and if it's like 5:20, 5:15, then I'm like already shot on my whole hour. So 5 a.m. is like my go time. If I get up at 5 a.m., my whole day is pretty good. I can get my workout in. I can get my business stuff done, and then go on the rest of my day. So
Yeah.
for me, that's what works. If I don't do that, then I always think that my day is shot. So that's just me, though.
I also think it's really important to recognize when your most productive time is for you. So some people might be morning people, some people might be night owls. For me, like, I am an absolute morning person. I don't necessarily feel like I'm in a good routine right now with getting up early. So I need to get back at it, because for a long time I was 4:30 every morning. I was out the door on a run, and things were really jiving really good. That was in my business building mode, for the first 2 years of my business. Now I'm getting kind of lazy, but I'd like to get back there again. But I'm definitely a morning person. So if I wait until like late afternoon or even evening to do some things that I know I need to do, like, my mind just cannot focus, and I'm not productive. I might be scrolling Facebook, just like wasting time thinking that I'm busy, but I'm really not doing anything to move my business forward whatsoever. So that's why you'll see it in my calendar, especially too, like most of my stuff that I do for my business is in the morning. I check into my challenge groups in the evening. That's pretty much all I do in the evenings and the team calls. All right. So most of my business building stuff is in the morning. We did a group, the Eat the Frog group. I know some of you were in that group too. And it was intended to get everyone doing their personal or their power hour done first thing in the morning. And this is the group that threw me off. I loved the group, loved the idea, but my frog was not inviting. My frog was my workout. So I stopped doing my workout first thing and started trying to do my power hour. And it totally messed me up, because then I would put off my workout and then I wasn't working out. So like, my frog is my workout. I have to do that first thing in the morning. And it just sets me up for the rest of the day. So sometimes it just takes maybe some tweaking too with how you have your day organized to find a system that's going to work best for you. It's not a one shoe fits all. Sometimes it takes a little bit of tweaking to find your groove and what's going to work for you. All right. Does anyone else have anything? Was this helpful tonight? Do you guys have questions or comments, feedback? I'd love to hear you guys try that Google Calendar and see if that helps. And just like actually track your time, where you're spending your time, because it might open your eyes to be like, wow, like, instead of watching TV for an hour and a half this night, I could maybe like save it, like record it and save it for a Sunday afternoon or something like that. Or, just maybe you're spending a lot of time scrolling Facebook doing nothing, where you thought you were like really being productive, but you're not doing the business building activities that are going to help you move your business forward. So I think that'll be insightful, for you just to kind of block off your time and then write in exactly what you're going to be doing during those hours, so that you know every day what you need to do. And the other thing with Google too, I didn't mention this before, I really love, it gives you a half an hour notification. So like before our team call tonight at 8:30, I got a notification from Google that my team call was starting in 30 minutes. Or, so it's like, okay, I need to get ready for this or whatever. So I love that feature about Google also. Right. Well, I wanted to keep this call to about 40 minutes, so right on. Do you guys have anything at all? Any questions or things that are going on that you want to talk about before I let you go?
I know like last week or the week before, I don't know, there was like a team call canceled or whatever, but you were like, oh, post ideas for like our next team call.
Yes.
And I guess I am struggling with understanding volume and how to keep track of right volume, left volume, rollover volume.
All right. So this is a fun conversation for me because I joined Beachbody for the business, right? So this is one thing that I learned pretty early on how to watch. So okay. So when you log into your Coach online office, I'm just going to get into mine so I can see what I'm talking about here. It changes every day, and actually it updates throughout the day, every day, your volume. All right. So on your lower left-hand side, well, I guess it's kind of the middle of your left-hand screen, you're going to see my volume, projected customer, team volume amount, left leg, right leg. All right. So most of you, depending on where you are in our organization, you're going to have either a left leg or right leg that's higher volume than the other. All right. So today is Tuesday. It's going to all start at 0 on Thursday because our pay weeks start on Thursday. So now is a good time to look at that and see, do you have a leg that has higher volume than the other? If you do, the leg with the higher volume is your strong leg. So like as a new coach, I get this question too. I got to do a video about this. But coaches every single time will ask me, I have a coach in my downline who I didn't sponsor. It's because they're looking at their genealogy view and not their personally sponsored, the sponsorship drill down. So our team is adding coaches. So that's when at the beginning of the call, I said we had almost 3,000 coaches in our team. So that's from like everybody working together. When we all sponsor coaches, we're all helping one another because my coaches will go underneath you guys and your coaches will go underneath your team. And that's on your strong leg. That's why your strong leg has more volume. That's, the reason for the more volume on the one leg. And it will always get, those coaches will always go on the strong leg on that one side. So
does your strong leg change?
It can, and I'll explain.
Okay, because I feel like mine just did, and it really threw me off.
It can. So if you have, all right, so what was I saying? So when somebody orders like a challenge pack, like the $140 challenge packs are 104 point volume, right? So every time that you have 100 point volume to your weak leg to 200 point volume on your strong leg, that equals 1 team cycle bonus. As an Emerald coach and higher, you start earning those team cycle bonus, which is a benefit and a reason why you wanted to get to Emerald as soon as you can in your business, so that you're not just commission. As a coach, you're only earning commission. When you start advancing your business to Emerald and Diamond, then you're earning on the cycle bonus as well. So an Emerald coach, you get $14 per cycle, and then a Ruby is $16 per cycle. A Diamond coach is $18 per cycle. Right? So as you grow your organization, it's good to look at what leg has the higher volume, because you want to focus on the leg that's lower volume, so that you're turning over the most amount of cycle. So your goal is really to even them out if you can. So I have a really strong leg, and my weak leg, it's not that it's weak, but I have a lot of work to do to even out that volume. So what I'm doing is I'm not building on my strong leg because the volume is so high on that side. So I'm placing my working coaches on that weak leg. And you guys want to do this too. So working coaches put on that leg of your business that has the lower volume. And like, Becca, it might flip-flop. So as you add coaches, you can look at that and say, where do I need to add a working coach to help me keep that volume equal?
Okay.
So does that kind of help answer your question a little bit?
It does. My left leg was always weak, so I was adding all my working coaches over there. And now it looks like my right leg is weak. So now I'm like, do I just leave my placement on my right side now until I can even them out. And then I saw like Amber posted a question about her rollover volume, and I was like, I have no idea what that even means.
Well, okay, so everybody is going to be a little at a different place in our organization, right? And she's been a coach for longer. So she has more volume built up. All right. So like, it's hard to explain what she was seeing because I don't, everyone's going to be in a different situation in their downline. But if you don't use that volume, there's such a thing called a flush. So after it gets to a certain number, Beachbody will do a grand flush and delete, and all of that volume goes bye-bye. So that's why, like, it's so important. It's basically money sitting there for you guys. For and as you grow your team and add coaches, if they're not working their business and they're not advancing their business and they're capping out, like that volume is just money sitting there for them doing nothing. It's basically flushing it down the toilet. So that's where it's kind of like, I have some coaches like that who have a lot of volume sitting there. It's like, oh my gosh, some people would just like die to have that. But, it's like their goals might be different. They're not building as aggressively, and that's okay. It's everyone's business is their own business to do with what they want. Right.
I guess I don't get, how does that volume get there to just sit there?
Because
like
they're not turning over any cycle bonus. Because they're not building the weak leg, or they're not advancing. Maybe they're just a coach. As a coach, you don't earn anything in cycle bonus. So, if you don't cycle from your
so is it like Emerald Coach? You cap out at 200 a week. Mm-hmm. So if you have more than that, that's what's left over.
You don't get paid. So, they'll take the volume if you're cycling it, but you will only earn $200 a week as an Emerald.
Okay. And
as a Diamond, the cap is 2,000. So, it's such a huge difference. That's why it's like, you guys just build your team. It's not hard. It just takes, focus and discipline.
Right. I guess I don't get like where the volume, why it just sits there and why it's like carryover volume and you're not getting paid for it, I guess. And then how do you?
Well, because for example, a coach might have like 15,000 on their strong leg in volume, but 0 on their weak leg.
Okay.
So as an Emerald coach, even though they have all of this volume on their strong, they have nothing on their weak. They're not going to turn over cycle bonus.
So that just gets left.
It just sits there. It sits there doing nothing until the grand flush.
Sure. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
How or where, I know everyone wants to go, so I'm sorry. And we could do this like another time or one-on-one or a different call, but where can I see my working coaches' volume and their team? Like, I've been looking for that and I can't figure it out because my working coach thought her coach was on her right leg and I'm seeing it on her left leg. And she's like, why is it only 45 volume, but she bought a challenge pack?
You can all see that in your sponsorship drill down. The only place I look is in sponsorship drill down for all of my reports and all of my coach stuff. So you can't see customers, but you can see their coaches. So go to your sponsorship drill down and then click on that coach. So their coach ID, and then you'll be able to see their right leg, left leg volume. You can see their order details, like their order history.
Okay.
Those are the only things
that I can see my working coaches, discount coaches or coaches or whatever.
Yeah, all the same.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you guys for jumping on tonight. I appreciate your time. And if there's any topics that you guys want to talk about or want to hear about, please do post in the group. It helps me because a lot of times I'm like, I don't know what to do our team call on. So if you have things that would help you, it would really benefit me to just hear from you guys and post on our team page. I would love to to give you what you feel like you need, okay, for these calls. So have a fabulous Tuesday night. Don't forget to check your sponsorship drill down. Tomorrow's Wednesday. And I guess let's make this week rock, right?
Thanks, Marsha.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye.